my time to play defense and get up in my guy and contest shots and continue to do the little things that get us wins.
I don't think we played our best basketball tonight, 1 through 15. I think Jaden was the only one that came ready to play tonight. And I think everybody else let him down. I think we'll see what type of game it'll be Friday. Everybody will bring their best brand of basketball from the Timberwolves, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, so much to unpack there. Again, the Windman is up early with us from Minneapolis, working late duty, as is Tim Legler, who's doing an SVP show late at night, gets up with us early from D.C. Guys, we love you. Thank you for doing that. Let's talk about this dynamic duo, Legler, because going back through the history of the league, and I go back to Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe teaming up, and it's happened before. When two guys who tend to do a lot of the same things team up, it doesn't always work. Why is it working so well for these two?
I think they have figured out the ebb and flow, and that's what's always critical when you pair two scorers like this together. Look, it takes time. It certainly wasn't what it should be last year, and it took a little bit of time this year at the start of the season. But they certainly have figured it out now. When does each guy need to be the alpha offensively where it's his show? And that is what they have figured out almost seamlessly. And I think Kyrie Irving the last couple of games actually was a little bit too quiet in the first half, sort of probing the defense. That wasn't the case last night, and they needed him to do this because if Kyrie Irving wasn't as aggressive and successful as he was in the first half last night, they might be down 12 or 15. And this was great. Luka's saying it's you right now. Go. And then Luka obviously is the guy that's going to be the primary option when you go to close the game. And here's what Luka Doncic did so well last night. All of those little nudges that he gives you with the shoulder, and I say a nudge, it's like getting hit by a refrigerator in your chest when he hits you. He's getting these guys in Minnesota to back up when he hits them like that, and then he separates with space. Compare that with what Lou Dort was doing. When Luka was hitting Lou Dort, he wasn't moving because he's so physically strong, and so that space was taken away on the lean back. Those were much more difficult shots. He was getting his spots last night with that space because he's knocking these guys back on their heels. That's how he closed the game. But, man, is it fun to watch when the two of those guys get it going on the same night.
Yeah, when Luka, in that regard, when he's covered, he's open. I mean, he makes himself open without any help. Meanwhile, Windy, again, you covered Kyrie Irving during those runs they made together with LeBron in Cleveland. And a lifetime has gone by since then, and so many things have happened involving Kyrie, so many of them not so flattering, and so many of them having nothing to do with basketball. You made a really good point earlier, and for the new audience joining us, how would you describe where you are seeing him right now?
Yeah, he's just showing such a maturity, and he'll be the first to tell you that he made some mistakes and he regrets them and he's trying to correct them. And one of the things about this game last night was how Kyrie was 100% invested in taking care of Luka, making sure that Luka had what he needed in this game. And it was scoring early on. And one of the things that Jason Kidd said was a focus coming into this series. They're trying to save Luka some energy. He was playing heavy minutes on that bad knee in the last round. They thought he was wearing out a little bit. They gave him a little bit of extra rest during the course of the game. Kyrie took on the scoring load early, and then guess what happened in the fourth quarter? While the Wolves were wearing out, Luka was incredibly strong. 15 points, made play after play down the stretch at both ends of the court, and that was a product of Kyrie's support throughout the game.
You know the name, it just jumped into my head here, Alan. We have not yet spoken the words Jason and Kidd in consecutively this morning, and we probably should be here because someone has to be there. You think about it, you've got two guys who were used to having the ball in their hands. Well, their head coach was about as good with the ball in his hands as any player in the history of the league. I feel like he has to factor into this somewhere, too.
And he was a great facilitator, and that also is important, understanding how to get other players going and win. And I think you have to credit not just Nico Harrison for making a trade that at the time you said this is a major risk that they were doing, but they wanted to find somebody to pair with Luka that would fit, and he created an environment to make it work. And Jason Kidd, the coach that has all the credentials that Kyrie will look at and give a lot of respect to. We know that was a bit of an issue in Brooklyn when it came to coaching as well for him. So all of that stuff is in place for him to be successful, and that's important. But it's also something that Windy said that we should point out when he talks about supporting. There's a reason why they give an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
Right.
Because a supporting actor makes for a great movie. And this right now is making for a great movie. He might be right there when you consider what he did with LeBron and winning a championship as a 1B, as the guy supporting the star. And it's like Dwayne Wade, it's like Scottie Pippen. It's those types of players that still are critical for a team to win a championship, and Kyrie might fit that best.
Well, look at these numbers. I mean, the combo last night, they had 63 points and 12 assists. They scored or assisted on 81% of the Mavericks' 108 points, and they really did it in the ham and egg fashion. You had Kyrie get 24 in the first half. You had Luka score 15 in the fourth quarter. So they were there when they needed them in the most, and they close it out. And the other piece of this, I remember, Legs, going back to when this deal was made with Dallas, the big concern was, will they be able to guard anybody? Luka not known for that. Kyrie not known for that. They didn't really have a roster that was filled with that. They've made some big additions in that regard. Both those guys are playing defense in ways we've never seen them play before. So all of a sudden what looked like it might be a weakness has turned into a strength also.
Yeah, and look, they had Derrick Jones, they had Lively, but that's not enough. So they go out and they add a P.J. Washington, who's given them significantly more athletic versatility defensively, and then they pick up Daniel Gafford from Washington. So now, Greeny, they can go the entire game, and at no point do they not have a long, bouncy center that can protect the rim, that can catch Luka's lobs. They got significantly quicker, and I think because of that, Luka and Kyrie bought into the fact that, hey, we can be something pretty darn special defensively, so we're going to lay it on the line too. And you've seen it really consistently here for a couple of months. You saw it last night. Luka's going to get a lot of credit, as I gave him after the game for that play he made on the lob. But look at the number of closeouts throughout the game that Kyrie Irving was a part of to chase guys off the line or to make it a contested three-point shot. The effort is there because the pieces around them are good enough defensively. Now you got your stars playing this hard. You've got something special on that end of the floor.